I'm going to do the video. I normally do the videos in period 5, but today I'm going to do it with you guys because remember yesterday we had a power outage. I don't know if you guys caught that on some of your classes, but we lost power during period 5 like a couple times, and so yeah, just completely turned everybody's computer off and hope you saved, kind of thing. So yeah, so I was in the middle of recording it and it didn't really work very well. So excuse me, we're in a class. Hello. Okay. Are you ready? So today I am going to show you how to set up the electrical plan. We kind of got it going, we've got some lights in and we did the underlay and stuff, but the problem with the underlay is all of the lights are kind of light. And we have other stuff we're going to put on the ceiling as well, like smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors and stuff. And we need to see it. And that lightness there prints really poorly, especially on Bluebeam PDFs and stuff like that. You really can't even see it. So when I first started this back in 2003, a while ago, what we would do, the idea, you could do underlay and stuff like that. And what we would do is we would do this. Watch how awful this is. We would go in and annotate and detail line. People still do this, by the way, because they don't know what I'm going to show you. And let's say this is maybe like a medium line or something. We'd go in a pick arrow. We'd literally just go in there and pick these. So then you would see, a line that was like there. So we could say, yeah, that's the light. What if you have 400 lights in your model? There's really no good way to do it except go in there and pick every one. And if one was kind of goofy, like a ceiling fan, then it was really kind of not very pleasant. So one of my mentors, this guy named Scott Davis, he actually modeled our P building back in the day when he was working for WLC Architects. And he's like one of the gurus, back then. He was one of the first users of Revit, like original first day one users of Revit. And he goes, well, I got a trick. And it works really well. And you'd never guess what it is, but check this out. And here's what he did. You ready? I'm going to take you through the whole process. And when you get it all set up, your lights are going to be bold. And it's all beautiful, and you won't have to do anything really hard and go in there and like make detail lines around stuff because it'll all show beautifully. All right, so if I go to the ceiling plan, you'll notice that the lights show very bold and clearly. Agree. If I go to the electrical plan, the switches and stuff like that show nice and bold, obviously, right? Because we see those. So what we need to do is we sort of need the ability to look both up and look both down at the same time, right? Looking down to see the switches and outlets and stuff like that. And then looking up to see the lights and smoke detectors and anything that's on the ceiling. There's actually a lot of stuff on ceilings. You know that it's by code, you have to put sprinklers now in new homes? Gasp, you do. Now your home might not have it. Mine doesn't have it because mine was built back in 94. But in 2022, if you want to build a new house anywhere in California, it has to have sprinklers. Just, for all kinds of reasons, right? So all this stuff on the ceiling, we have to kind of, we have to keep track of. So here we go. I'm going to take you through the process. I'm assuming, I hope, that you have some lights in here. Okay. I don't know if it's all done or not, but probably isn't, but it's along the way, right? We've got the switches going, with the swings going to the lights, right? And if I was to turn off that underlay, let's just say like this, then you wouldn't see any light, right? Because the underlay is gone, there's no lights. Agree? Okay. I'm going to leave that back, put that back there just for now. Lights are back. All right. First step. I would like you to go to ceiling plan level 1. And I would like you to make a copy of it. Right click, duplicate with detailing. So just a straight clone like that. Exact copy, agree? And I'm going to rename it. Right click, rename. And I would like you to call this trick. ceiling, level 1. Cap locks. Okay, doesn't matter. All right, doesn't matter. All right, got it. And then I would like you to set the scale of this trick ceiling plan to the same scale that our floor plan is. So my floor plan is at 1/4 inches a foot. I know there's a couple of you out here that had to make yours a little smaller. So you have to look at yours and tell me what yours is. So if I go to my electrical plan and it's 1/4, then that's what I want it to be. Does that make sense? I think there's a couple of you had to do 3/16 because you made your building kind of a little bit bigger. So you had to make it a little smaller on the sheet. So I need the ceiling plan trick to be the same scale as the floor plan. Okay, electrical plan. Got it? Make me a copy, call it trick ceiling plan level 1, and set the scale to the same as the form. Let's go ahead and set this to fine, just in case there's kind of funky families in there where maybe they display weird. I don't know if that's going to change or not, but yeah, it's probably a good idea. All right. Make that trick ceiling plan. Just go to your electrical plan and just verify that the electrical plan, the scale on it, it's important, because if they don't match, then my little trick doesn't work. All right, anyone have trouble making that trick ceiling plan and setting the scale equal to your electrical plan? Beautiful. Next step. If you guys don't say anything, I'm just going to jump right on in. Next step. I'm on the trick ceiling plan. I would like you to highlight everything. Now, if I deleted, what would happen? The entire everything you see here would be toast, right? We don't want to delete. Okay. We're going to go to this thing called the filter. Now you'll see everything that's there, right? What I'd like you to do is I would like you to uncheck lighting fixtures. Okay. Uncheck lighting fixtures. So you see windows, walls, views, stacked walls, rooms, whatever the crap is in there, right? Now, if you have any electrical fixtures, I don't think you do, then I would want you to uncheck those too. But I don't think we do yet, because I haven't really given you any of those yet. All right. So all we're going to do is we're going to basically take care of everything but the lighting fixtures and electrical fixtures, right? So now, would you agree that everything is selected, but a couple of those lighting fixtures and stuff, right? And you're going to right click, hide in view by category, which is basically VHing everything. Gasp. So what's left over? What do we see? The lights. That is the ticket. Let me do that one more time, and then you're going to do it. So filters, as you know, allow us to grab what we want, not grab what we want, right? So in this case, I want to grab a whole crap load of stuff without having the lights, right? So picking it, filter, unchecking lighting fixtures. In theory, you should be able to VH. I was trying to do that yesterday and I wasn't having any luck. VH. I don't know why it doesn't work, but in theory, you should be able to VH and just turn all this off, but I'm not sure why it's not working. So right click, this will work. Hide in view by category. Kind of the same thing as the VHing. Just like that. Got it? Okay. Anyone had trouble seeing the light? No, you're right, Jacob, you're fine. Your view range, are your fans a little higher up? Okay, that's fine. What we'll do is on this trick ceiling, I got you on this trick ceiling plan. On your view range, might have to go up a little higher. So instead of going to level 2, we might have to go a little higher up, like the main building. Does that make sense? So let's see if that works. Apply. Your lights. Yeah, once I'm done, I'll come back to it. Okay, I can pick them off. If that's what it is, they'll show if we change them. I think I know what's going on. All right. Okay, watch out. Next, we're going to go into the electrical plan. And I would like you to turn off the underlay. So I'm going to go in the electrical plan. We'll go into the properties. I'm not picking on anything, just in white space. And I'm going to go into remember the underlay we set just so we can see the lights? I'm actually going to undo that now. I'm going to hit none. None. So now apply. You'll notice I cannot see the light. No light. While you're there, let's go ahead and just delete any sections that are there. We don't put anything on the sheet yet. So just for now, I mean, they'll come back if you put them in, but just for now, I'm just going to go ahead and just kind of clean this little guy up here a little bit. I wouldn't want to see sections in a electrical plan view unless they were on a sheet. And right now, again, we haven't put any sections on a sheet. So just kind of clean it up for me a little bit. All right. That's actually looking pretty decent. But there are no what? There are no lights. Okay. So could you do that? Turn off the underlay. I'm just taking you all the way through this nice and slow. So go to your electrical plan. Pick in white space somewhere so you know you're not picking on an object. And then go into the underlay and set it to none. Right now it should say level 1, level 2, look up, right? When you set it to none, it'll automatically kind of clear those all out. And if you hover around your model, you should see no lights, but you should see switches and some outlets and the lines that are attaching the switches to the lights. All right. That part should have been easy. Okay, next. Okay, so we are going to create a new sheet. Right-click, new sheet. Going to do our DSAS title block. Any guesses on the name? I hate when it does that. Exactly. If you have level 1, level 2, level 3, we just have no levels, so pretty much electrical plan should be fine. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the number there, so whatever you put right there will be fine. And then we are going to drag. By the way, if you're using my model, make sure your name is on there. Some of you forgot to take that off. And then we're going to take the electrical plan and drag it on the sheet. Now, the question goes is, do you see the light? Do you see the light? No light. No light. So here comes the trick. And I've got a view tag here. Let me go ahead and put that up there and just kind of get in a spot where, you know, it's not annoying. So this one I want, electrical plan, that's what I want right there, okay? All right, so how do I get the light in the building? Well, I take this trick ceiling plan and I drag it in the model, right? Here it is. Now, do you see that green line right there? And do you see that green line right there? That green line and that green line. And you bring it in until they meet like that. It could be anywhere depending on what you've put in so far. It's not going to probably be right in the middle of the screen. It doesn't matter, but see how they're kind of plussing there? Click. So now the lights be in exactly the right spot. Now, what you do here is you take this trick ceiling plan, whatever you want to call this thing, and you just kind of just drag it off the sheet. There's other ways to get rid of it, but if it's not on the sheet, then it's not going to get printed. So we could have called this Fred for all we cared. So it didn't really matter because it's not going to be shown. Got it? So I would like you to do the exact same thing. You don't have sconce lights. Yeah, it's probably above your view range. So in other words, we went from level 1 to level 2, right? That's what this is. So if your sconce is higher than that, then we have to set your view range a little higher. So what you would do is you would say, okay, my view range, it's stopping at level 2. I want to go up a little higher. Maybe I go up to the main base. Does that make sense what I'm doing? I'm looking up higher. Say, I understand that. That's okay. So it's not, trust me, when you do the overlay, it'll all be good. The reason that's probably happening is whoever made the family, there's tricks on showing things in floor plan view with families like we did with the, it's the same situation with the fan light combo. Remember how you can see it in the floor plan? Yeah, there's tricks to make that happen. So that's probably happened on that light. It won't matter because it's going to go over the top of the other one. Yep. Once you get that, go ahead and just throw a quick save on there. Probably a good idea since you've got it done. Now, as you add stuff in the floor plan, in the electrical plan, in the ceiling plan, this all just populates. It's all set, and now it's just in progress. Now, if you do put lights, this has happened with a couple of you. Watch screen. If you have that trick ceiling, I think like I mentioned, and you're not seeing all of your lights, it could be that they're higher up. Like if you have one that's above level 2, you're not going to see it, probably. And if you can't see it, then you just go to this trick ceiling and you would go into the view range of the view right here, and look a little higher, instead of stopping at level 2, you could go up to the main building or the tower or even unlimited. It's completely up to you. Now, when you do that, you have to do it twice. It's a long story. I don't want to explain it, but you have to do it here. And you also have to do it here. There and there. And when you do, I'm not sure if mine's going to work or not. Let's see what happens when I hit apply. Usually when this happens, it's sconces or something that's kind of on the wall a little higher up, or it could be in your main building. You have a light in your, I don't know, you have a light in your great room that's higher up than level 2, which is completely possible, and you can't see it. So you have to just view range it up a little bit. So that's going to be on you to figure that part out. That makes sense? Okay. That also happens in the electrical plan. If your underlay, I don't know if I've talked about this or not. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. If your underlay, Mr. Brown, let's put that back to level 1, is stopping at level 2, then that's where it's going to stop. You're not going to see anything higher than that. So if you drop a light in above level 2, above 10 feet, then it's not going to show in this underlay. So you might want to consider looking a little higher up, maybe the main building. so that maybe you see something a little higher up. Now you're going to get your roof and all that stuff. So we're not going to want to see that, but we don't see that in our trick ceiling plan anyway. Now you're going to want to turn the underlay back on if you have any more ceiling lights to put in, right? Or anything that goes on the ceiling to put in so you can see it, right? So that can kind of toggle on and off. In the end, we're going to want to turn it off because we've already taken care of it with our trick plan. Does that make sense? All right. Okay, again, I'm just going to throw a save on there because that was a nasty lesson yesterday when all the computers went off and everyone went, it was pretty bad. Okay. Next, I'm going to go back to the electrical plan here. I can keep the underlay on for now. That's fine. Our next thing we need to put in are outlets. Y'all know what an outlet are, right? They look something like this right here. Anyone recognize these? I'm going to guess you might have one of these at your house. Maybe two, maybe, I don't know, 20. How about this? Maybe not enough. How's that? Do you have any areas where it's like, oh my God, I got to plug this into that, into this, into that. And I've got these things all like one power cord plugged into the same power cord because you have so much stuff happening. Does that sound about right for certain areas? So there are codes on how far apart these can be. And I'm going to talk about that and what kind they have to be. That said, look at the prices on them. Just look. On a typical duplex outlet. Typical duplex outlet. A fancy one. Now they can get super fancy, you know, and there's certain, like this is a higher wattage one and stuff like that. But as you can see, in the grand scheme of things, they're really not very expensive. Agree? So the bigger cost is just having the electrician go in there and creating another spot in the wall to put this thing in, right? Which also doesn't take very much time. So I guess where I'm going is don't like be that architect that, you know, minimizes, you know, the electrical plan and doesn't have enough outlets. All right. But there are rules. And here we go. Starting with, I don't know, where should we start? Let's start in the bedroom. Okay, so I'd like you to load the duplex outlet. We're just going to start in the bedroom here. I'm going to go architecture, component, place, load family. And we're going to go into the plus Revit families and get ourselves some duplex outlets. This is the symbol for it. This little guy right here represents it's a wall-based object, wall-hosted object. So you can't put one of these things on a ceiling. You can't put one of these on a floor. You can't put one of these just in empty space. It has to go on a wall. Now, if you want to put one on a ceiling, which you're going to want to, garage door opener, then we have a different one. This one won't work. All right. Do you see the symbol? Duplex, being two, which means there's two little plugs. We're going to go and open that. So here's the rule. When you put in a duplex outlet like that, there has to be another one within 12 feet linearly along the wall. So as I move this thing along the wall, and along the wall, and along the wall, if I add this, whatever this distance is here, I don't know, it looks like it's maybe somewhere in the ballpark of like high 8 foot, right? And then as I turn the corner, no less than 12 feet. No, sorry, yeah, no. So you have to have, watch my hand, it can't be more than 12 feet apart. Okay, that's the super basic rule. But there are other rules on that too. Now, that said, are you really going to do that to the person who's living here? You know, give them something like that's positive, you know? So like there's gonna be a nightstand here. Would you agree that would be a really good place for an outlet? Good. Do I need one right here behind the bed? So that would be, I'll call it superfluous, right? It's like, yeah, you could put one there, but that's kind of stupid, right? Unless there's another place they could put the bed, you know? You could say, yeah, well, then what if they put the bed over here? You know, well, then you could make an argument for that. But I'm not gonna. I'm gonna put another one right here because there might be another nightstand there that's not there. Do you think we should put one here? I think we should put one right here between this window and here, even though that's a dresser there, that dresser could be moved. And maybe there's gonna be something on top of the dresser. Say, and then we have to plug something in that goes on top of the dresser, right? So I'm trying to be nice to these people, right? And then should I have one here? Well, if I'm looking linearly along, and the closets don't count, you tell me, should I have one here? I don't know. Is that really a good spot to have one? Yeah, that's up to you. I'm gonna put one there just because putting one more in there doesn't hurt anything. Now I do have a GFI right here. I have no idea why somebody would put a GFI in the closet. It's really weird. I have no idea why that's there. These things are really difficult to pick, and I don't know. It's something about the wall hosting of them. So agree that that is a really stupid place to put a GFI. I have no idea how they got there. Let's see, delete. Those of you who have my model, you better delete that because I'm going to mark you down if you have a GFI in the closet. Yep. This right here. Yeah. Boy, this is a really funky model, huh? That should have been over here. Something got moved, huh? Okay, that's actually flipped too, so whatever. All right. Yeah, you know what happened is something got moved, right? So obviously, that got moved along with the GFI, right? Okay. We'll revisit that. Okay. Now, when you put these outlets in, the same rule applies for the living spaces. So back we go, component place. Would you agree that we need an outlet right here? I would agree. Now, by the way, can these go underneath the window? They can. That's a yes. If you look at the properties box, do you see the 9 3/4 there in the properties box right here? That's the default that they're going in off the floor. Now, that's not always the case, and sometimes you have to move that. It's an instance parameter, so it's possible that needs to be higher or lower depending on what you got going on. And I'll be talking about the codes later on. Right now, we're just going to get them in. Do I want it there? Below the window? It's up to me. I could do that. It's like, that's fine. You could do that. Should I have one here? I think so, right? Because there's gonna be, it looks like we got something going on there. You could, do it. Should we have one here? We need 12 feet between. You could argue yes or no on that one. There's a sofa there, I don't know. Yeah, is that sofa going to move? I don't know. So I don't know. You could argue yes or no on that. Now, here's the thing. If you put it here, what I need you to be careful of is that if I am to go like this, so the answer is, as it sits, should I have put one in the middle? Either that or move the outlets closer together so they're no more than 12 feet apart. That makes sense? So you really aren't going to like destroy the world by putting in an extra one, the only thing that's going to happen there is the electrician is going to have to put one more in. And it could be that somebody wanted that there. Maybe there's going to be a lamp going in there or something like that. Or maybe they changed the sofa to a chair and a table, and it would really have been nice to have an outlet there, but they just didn't put one in because they didn't. So that's going to be on you. Now, this one could have changed now. Maybe I don't want one here. Maybe I wanted one on this wall instead because the 12-foot, rule applies and I have no problem here, right? Because there's no way that that's 12 feet going linearly and turning the corner. Getting the rule, pretty straightforward. And then you just kind of, work it around and, place the outlets. Common sense stuff, just places where you think it should be. Do you need one right here? Probably not. That's probably a crappy place for an outlet. And then it would be the same thing now. No kitchen, no bathrooms, no laundry room, no powder room, anywhere there's water. No, in the kitchenette, you're going to do the granny flat as well. I'm going to just consider this area right here a dining room, which is what it really should have been. And so, I might want to have one there. I might have one there, but not here. We're going to talk about these spaces here in a minute. But yeah, linearly, just give them, don't put them behind doors. That's really annoying. Like if you can use vacuum cleaners and stuff like that, put them in good spots, and just work your way around. I have no idea what the furniture looks like there. So got it. You, by the way, if you want, you can even put these, when these go in, they go in floor plan as well. So you can see them go in. So if you have your furniture there and you want to just kind of see how it kind of relates to your furniture, you could do that. We'll probably be turning them off in this view eventually, but it might be nice to have that. No garage. Okay, something else in the garage. Could you put the duplex outlets all over the place? So you want to be in the electrical plan when you're doing it. In this component, place, load family, plus Revit families, electrical. And then it's outlet duplex. Yep. Fired up. Let's see if you lost anything. Did you just saved? If you didn't save, then well, let's open it up. Let's see what happens. Sometimes it'll kind of sort of save for you. It'll give you what's called a recovery file, and then it'll recover whatever you had. And sometimes it doesn't. Okay, stop. This is the recovery file. Do you see where it says recovery.rvt? I have no idea whether this is going to work or not. We're going to find out. It recovered all the way to this point. So here's what you're going to do, Joe. Good, do it. Is this much work versus what you had? Then I would just, let's do this. I'm going to open up this. I'm going to open up your Tuscan project. Good. Not the recovery, just the one that's before that. Oh, that almost looks better than the other one, huh? Let's blow this. There's recovery one doesn't look very good at all because there wasn't even anything on the sheet, huh? So yeah, we'll just leave you right there. So wherever you are. Okay. So it looks like you have to drag the trick plan still on, huh? You have it, so you just have to drag it on, huh? You're not too bad. Hallways are kind of the same rule, when you're doing that, you have a hallway, some of you have a pretty long hallway, just same thing. Now that I wouldn't put a gazillion of them in, but 12 feet is the magic number. Things like vacuum cleaners and stuff like that, you need to have those outlets in the hallway. Make sure you're saving frequently. Yep. No, outlets can be in there. Yeah, just the water spaces are the ones that that I'm going to talk about right now, that you can't do. All right, save. I'm going to jump in. You may or may not be done. That's okay. I'm just trying to get you guys started, and that's obviously doing that. All right. Look out. Okay, we've talked about these a little bit already. These GFIs. I had that up here. Where'd it go? So again, we've talked about the GFIs, right? The ones that have the little reset switch on them, right? And let me pull this over. You know, they got the reset switch on. If you have one in your bathroom, you have one in your garage. Think about it, garage, hopefully. Kitchen, bathroom, laundry room, yada, yada, right? It's a ground fault circuit interrupter anywhere there's water. We don't want to get you electrocuted, so we put one in. Now, there are rules on how far they are and where they are and all that stuff, but basically we're going to be putting those in the water areas. So let's talk about, let's go to the laundry room. Would you agree you need an outlet in there to plug them in? Okay, well, it has to be a ground fault circuit interrupter because it's a laundry room. So let's go ahead and architecture. Now, component. Now, if you try to load this, you're going to be, I'm just going to show you what happens because this happens all the time to people and they don't know what's going on. Watch this. Place component, load family. Watch what happens. Load family. I'm going to go ahead and load my GFI. There it is right there, right? I'm loading it. I got it. Open. Now, when I put it in, notice it's not a GFI. It's what we just did, huh? It's that same outlet. Why isn't it a GFI? Well, it's already loaded. So when we did a load, it just didn't do anything because it was already there. Does that make sense? And so we're left with what we had before. So what you need to do is go find it because it's already there. Say, yeah. Does that make sense? Happens all the time and people freak out. It's like, what happened to it? I loaded it. They keep trying to load it and load it and load it and load it, and it doesn't come in. And it's, well, it's already there, you know, and they're left with whatever was the most recent component. All right. GFI, ground fault circuit interrupter. Agree, 1, 2. They actually have amperages on those too. We'll talk about later where they draw more current than a typical one, like in a kitchen or something. So we'll talk about those. They could run like 20 amps and stuff like that. Okay, we already did one in there, huh? So that's good. I think on the bathroom, some of them you've already done, hopefully, and then some of them you haven't. Let's see. Did we do this bathroom here? Say yes. Now, we probably, do we want another one? I don't know. I think it might, maybe I want another one over here because if you've got a blow dryer or something like that and you're plugging it in, you don't want that cord running really long. So I think I want another one there. Let's see. Do we want another one in this room anywhere? I guess we put one right here. That's fine for like a vacuum cleaner or some kind of like appliance you're going to plug in to clean the floors or whatever. I think we're good there. Okay, working around. Agree. Okay there. Got one there and one there. Okay, now the kitchen. Here's the kitchen gets off. By the way, these are going in at 3'9", so not 9 3/4, 3'9 3/4. That may or may not be the right number for you, but we'll go ahead and go with that. So where does it go? Well, it goes on the countertops. You have to have quite a few of these in there. There are rules on how close these are together, and they're pretty close, like every 2 feet. Because they don't want you plugging in like a blender. And then because the cord's not long enough to put in like an extension cord on the blender to get it to the outlet. So they want you to have a lot of them basically. So this circuit, this ground fault circuit interrupter circuit, you're going to be putting in quite a few of these things. Okay, so wherever you happen to go. talk about this in a second. All right, so we got the ground fault circuit interrupter. That's really not, that's a different outlet there, but we definitely want one there on that countertop. So what I would like you to do is to put some GFIs and kind of get those water areas, like the laundry room, and make sure the bathrooms are good. Just kind of verify, look around, especially the countertops there. Make sure there's a GFI kind of near them. So if you have a blow dryer or something like that, that it reaches. GFI. Yep. The what? Oh, no, I'm sorry. Good question. I know. It's actually going to be closer together. When we give the rules for like the bathrooms and the kitchen and stuff, they're super, like a lot closer. Yeah, you'll never have them 12 feet apart. Good question. Yes. We are, and I forgot that one. Yes. Good question. Yep. No, we're gonna do something different out there. I don't think we need an outlet in the entry tower. It's not very big. I'm not really seeing any purpose for it. I think I would have one near it, like really close to it. Like if there was a floor that needed to be cleaned by some kind of an appliance that cleans floors, I would want to plug them in, but I don't think we need one in the tower. It's stone or brick. It's going to be less fun to put electrical in that. So I'm going to go with it. We don't need it. We'll talk about really close to it here in just a minute, though. All right, got the idea. GFIs, water areas, right? All right, save. I'll give you a window time, by the way, when I'm done yapping here, and you guys can just kind of do the work if I'm going a little fast. All right. Oh, somebody just noted to me that I forgot a place, and I did. I forgot the garage, and you need to have at least one GFI in the garage. Okay, so you can put it wherever you want. Component, place. I don't know. I'll put it right here. Okay. And if you want to put more than one in, help yourself, no problem at all, right? And you could even like maybe do one over here or something like that. I don't know. It's up to you. Sometimes there's a door in the back there, but you don't have to go crazy on the outlets in the garage. That said, we'll talk about the garage a little bit. A lot of people are using their garage for more than just parking cars these days. Like I used to have my wood shop in my garage, and so I had to actually add electrical to it because I couldn't plug in my table saw because it drew too much current, and you couldn't use that little teeny GFI that was already there because it wasn't like beefy enough, if you will. And we put solar panels in and there's a lot of additional stuff in there. So that said, if you want to add electrical in there, you're not going to hurt anybody's feelings. Okay, but there's no real codes except that you needed one GFI in there. Okay. All right. Now, there's another GFI that I haven't talked about yet, and it is this GFI waterproof. Now, there are all kinds of new looks here, but the basic idea, let's try back. I'll see if I can get a picture that shows it like on somebody's wall. I don't know. I don't know, give or take something like that. If you have a house, you have a backyard. Might not be big, might be small, but in that backyard, there is an outlet probably like attached to your back wall somewhere, and it has like little caps on it, or there's some kind of covering, you know what I'm talking about? That is a GFI waterproof. The building code today says you have to have one in the front and one in the back. I don't have one in my front because back in 94, they didn't have that code, but today they do. So somewhere in your front and somewhere in your back, you need to have what's called the GFI Waterproof, which is what those things are, kind of, right? For obvious reasons, right? Because when it's raining and you're doing the weed eater or whatever, you don't want to be electrocuted. So and if you do, then the switch, the little thingy there, it pops and you're not going to get electrocuted for very long, just a little while. All right. Versus if you just have a regular outlet there, yeah, you can be pretty much toast, if it happens that way. So they've done that because people died and it's like wasn't very good. So here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna take that GFI that we made anywhere. Okay, let's just find one here. There's one right there. Right, you see it there? And I'm just gonna go ahead and right click create similar, and I'm just gonna put one on the back wall. Now that is not a GFI waterproof, that's just a GFI. I don't have a GFI waterproof. So we're going to make one. It's going to go, it's really easy. Something like this. Pick that GFI, edit type, and duplicate. What do you think we should call it? Yep. GFI, WP, something like that. Now, this particular family, that GFI family, has this thing called a label on it, which is really handy. It's like a little text holder. So guess we're going to put after GFI? Yeah, something like that. Are you with me? Pretty easy. Hit OK. And now we have a new family called GFI WP. So what I would like you to do is I would like you to put one on the back of the house somewhere, wherever you think you want to put it. Doesn't matter where it is. I think I also want to put one. You'll see now that we have the regular GFI and we have the GFI waterproof. I want on the back. So this is almost a separate building. So I think I want to put one on the back here. I want to put one in the front. I'm going to try to put it in as less ambiguous spot as possible, away from stuff because it's not very pretty. And I don't know. What do you think? Maybe over here somewhere. Could do it over here, anywhere that like common sense spot that's not going to be too obnoxious. You just know what they look like, right? They're not pretty. They're just not the end of the world or anything. It's not like a breaker box is really ugly, but wherever you think it needs to be. And then you could put more than one. I mean, if you think, it'd be really nice if they had another one over here on the corner. So if they're doing work over here, they could, so that's up to you, places to plug stuff in, when you're doing yard work and stuff like that, there's stuff you want to plug in. So I think that's the deal. They don't want you running cords, opening the front door, running a cord in the house, plugging it in, and then, doing your business in the yard. So they've regulated that. So create me a ground fault circuit interrupter, waterproof, and put it in the front and the back of your buildings. Yeah, that's a great question, and the answer is no. So let's see, what would I do with that? Let's do that. What's going to happen is, the electrician's going to go in there and they're going to put it right about there. But what's going to happen is there's going to be studs in the wall, and they're going to find a place to hang it based on where those studs are. They're not, wherever you don't really know where the studs are as you look at this wall, right? You don't know where they are. So, but they do. So if you give them a general area, unless you actually physically put a dimension on there, I have to have it this distance for a reason, they're going to put it in the ballpark. So doing that is fine. Does that make sense? Yeah. Yep. I'm going to do that next. Yep. You're right. You're asking a great question. All right. Save. Tamer's stealing my thunder. Okay. All right. Y'all know what this thing is, right? It's a sink. Underneath the sink, there's a cabinet, right? Inside that cabinet, there's something that attaches to the bottom of the sink. What is it? Okay, garbage disposal. A garbage disposal has electricity. It has to run. You have a switch, say yes, and it attaches to an outlet that's the garbage disposal. And then when you flip the switch, it activates that outlet and the garbage disposal turns on. The switch doesn't go directly to the garbage disposal. Does that make sense? If your garbage disposal breaks, which they do, I'm sure you've all lost your garbage disposal at one point. You unplug the thing, you unattach it to the sink, you get another one, you screw it back in, and you plug it into that little single outlet, and you're off and running again. You pause it. So let me show you what it looks like, and then the dilemma that we have. It's a single outlet. There's no reason to have a duplex outlet under a sink because what else would you plug in underneath the sink? Not a darn thing. So component, place, load family. We're going to go into outlet single. And you'll notice that there's one little thing there. It's a single outlet, not a duplex. Now, let's just pretend that my sink was here. Oh, that's great, right? It works, right? The problem is that's not where it is. My sink is on the island, right? Now watch this. Wah, wah, wah. Why is that not working? Well, there's not a wall there, right? So it doesn't work. This particular family, and I explained that earlier, is a wall-based family. It's a wall-hosted family. If you don't have a wall, it doesn't work. See the problem? Now, the way they're going to do this outlet is they're probably going to come, the electricity would come from under the floor, and then, the outlet would be attached to the cabinet somewhere, right? You probably have that somewhere in your kitchen. There's an outlet attached somewhere in the cabinet or whatever, and it's fine. You can do that. It's not a problem at all, right? But our family doesn't work so well that way. Agree? So let me show you the workaround. And we have workarounds in Revit all the time because, it's a software. It's not perfect. So here we go. Just watch the whole thing. And then you're going to go, oh, okay, well, it is what it is. Let me just give you a little kind of camera shot of what we have here. It's going to take a little quick shot here. You know what? I'm going to do a different place. I'm going to do it from this way. I think the way my cabinets are set up, I think that the front of them is this way. Let's find out. I still want it that way. I'm going to do it this way. There we go. That's the shot I want. Oh, so there's the front of the cabinets, right? So agree that I want the back side of the cabinet to get the electricity, right? I don't want this side to get it, right? It's the behind part. So that said, that's view 10. Let's make one more view just for fun. And let's go the other direction. Let's go. Let's stand right about there. Just take that shot right there. Are you with me? So just, it's whatever it is. I don't know what's on the back of these cabinets here. They're white or whatever. Okay. I was going to take that, just VH it for a second here. All right. So just see the basic idea, right? I got different materials on the cabinets. We haven't really put materials on the cabinets yet. So, they are what they are. All right. Here we go. What is he going to do? Wall, just watch. There's wall. I'm going to make a wall. I'm going to make just a plain old boring 5-inch wall. I'm going to put the wall, I don't know, right there. I'm going to make that wall. I'm going to go from level 1 to level 1. Huh? Can you do that? You can't. But if I have a top offset on level 1 of 4 feet, then that wall becomes short. Where's the wall? Oh, you know what? I think no, where's the wall? Am I missing something? Let me take that. I've made a wall, right? Level 1 to level 1. That's going top offset 4 feet, right? Let me take that picture. Maybe I'm blocked. Maybe I'm behind a wall or something like that. Let me just take that picture again. That's kind of weird. Oh, okay. Gotcha. All right. There we go. All right. The wall. Are you with me still? All right. Take the wall. It's a generic 5, right? It's a ridiculous wall. It's not the right height or thickness or anything. I'm going to edit, type, and duplicate. I'm going to make myself let's call this an island wall. I'm going to go into the properties. I'm going to make it 1/8 of an inch thick. Now, I don't know what the material is going to be. I'm just going to make one up here that matches the cabinet material. Okay. I have no idea what the cabinet material is. Let's just say it's, was there like a trim or something like that in there somewhere, like on the doors? Yeah, this is probably the wrong nut run. That's okay. You get the idea. You're going to find the material, whatever it is, right? And it's 1/8 of an inch thick. With me so far. All right. Now, we're going to go back to level 1. And you see my wall. Let me turn off the line weights. So I'm going to take that wall. Let's do this first. Let's go ahead and put the outlet on it. So let's see. Component, place. There's my single outlet. I'm going to put that on my new wall. I see what you're saying. That wall is way out of the way. So there's my outlet. I'm going to take that and bring it on over here. Don't worry about that. Still with me? Okay, so then I'm just going to take that and I'm just going to, fudge it. I have no idea where I want it. It doesn't really matter where it is as long as it's, got the outlet in the right spot. Okay. So it's there. Now it's probably a little on the tall side. So let me just cut a section here. You can even make the material on that thing transparent if you want, and so you don't see it at all. So there it is, right? So you can see it in the cabinet there. And so I would just like bring that like right there and then shoot it down. So it's basically just a place. It's like a holder of the outlet. Nobody's going to see it, but it's going to hold the outlet. I made it 1/8 of an inch thick. So it's really not, 1/8 of an inch thick is it's like this. That's probably thicker than 1/8 of an inch. The thickness of the cabinet is probably 3/4, just the wood that they use to make it. So this is probably, it's like 1/6 the thickness. It's just a way to hold the outlet. Yeah. So that's the point. So if you have a fixture that's wall based, but you don't have a wall, then you have to make a trick wall to have something to host it. Kind of like we did with the ceiling a little bit, right? When we kind of sort of faked it in a little bit and didn't really have a thickness to it. And you can even make it, I don't generally go smaller than an eighth. I've had issues with trying to find stuff if you make it too thin. But it's enough where you can see it, but it's not enough to hurt anything, basically. So, but you now have, if you go to the actual electrical plan, you actually have the outlet. Okay. So I would like, so that makes sense. Now, if your sink is on the wall, then that doesn't apply to you. Does that make sense? All right. Now, got one more thing on that electrical plan. So you see so some of you are gonna have to do that and some of you aren't. On the electrical plan, I need you to do some graphics for me. What I don't wanna see, I wanna see the electrical stuff, but sometimes what happens is when you have a lot of stuff around it, it kind of washes out the electrical. It's hard to see. Does that make sense? You can see that, right? So I want you to do what's called half toning. Let me show you that kind of what it looks like. Let me just, line weights are on, right? This is a solid black line, and you see solid black, and the fixture solid black, right? This washer is a specialty equipment. Check this out. I'm going to go to VV, and I'm going to go to specialty equipment, and I'm going to half tone it. See that checkbox right there? Now watch what happens. Do you see what happened to the washer? It got lighter. Now it'll still print, but it prints really light, especially on PDFs. Remember the kind of the half toning that was happening with the lights? We're kind of doing that with the stuff that's there. So for reference, yeah, that's where the washer goes, but the electrician just needs to know where to put their stuff. So I need you to half tone a few things for me. I need you to half tone VV. I need you to half tone the plumbing fixtures. So that'd be like your faucets and bathtubs and toilet and all that stuff. I need you to half tone your generic models. That's going to be your countertops and things like that. And your casework, that's going to be your cabinets and stuff, because you're going to have a lot of these around cabinets, and you're going to want those cabinets to be lighter. And let's see, what am I forgetting? And then with the so that's that, right? Now watch what happens to the model. And then one last thing for the electrical plan, you're going to VH the furniture. We don't do furniture on electrical plans. VH. Say goodnight. The electricians don't want to see the furniture. Okay, they don't care. They just want to see where to put their stuff. And you'll notice now that I can see the light, right? Because it's in a plan region, but the fixtures and all that are off. Now, one other thing, do you see the texture patterns on the floor? We did that, I think, just on the floors, right? If you VV, if you go to furniture, if you go to floors, watch this. I'm going to go floors. See this one right here, this surface pattern. Just uncheck that. And what that'll do is it won't turn off the floor. It'll just turn off the pattern on the floor. We don't want to see that. The floor is still there, but the pattern's not. So again, VV, you're going to half tone the casework, the generic models, the plumbing fixtures, and the specialty equipment. And then you're going to completely turn off the furniture. And then you're going to hide the surface pattern of the floors. That's all on the electrical plan, not on the floor plan, on the electrical plan. So we have this kind of better graphic thing. And then when I go to the sheet, it all looks better. We'll get rid of the sections there eventually. Wonder what that is. We'll have to look and see what that I put a bread chair in there. I'm not sure what that thing is. Oh. I know, because I still have the underlay on, huh? That's why. I'd have to try. I still need to turn off the underlay on that. But get the idea. See how it's half toned? No furniture. See, all this stuff is all half toned. So we see the electrical stuff a lot better. Okay, let's do that. Go. So in the electrical plan, VV. Then you're half toning, plumbing fixtures, casework, specialty equipment. Yep. Yeah, I give 2 per quarter. You were there? Oh, sure, it's outside. Yeah. So yeah, if your lights are all done, then you can turn off the underlay. It's kind of annoying to have on. You see the roof and all that stuff. But if you're not done putting in the lights, I would leave that there until you're done, because you're going to want to see, you have to kind of see the lights go in so you can hook them up. Some of you have those short little walls that between your dining room and your kitchen, where you can look from your kitchen to your dining room. Those walls are really kind of important, those pony walls, because they hold stuff, like you can see. That wall will hold your, the wiring, and it'll hold the plumbing and all that stuff. You have to have a place to put it. If you don't have that wall, then you have to kind of go down into the ground, which is, more expensive. You guys are awfully quiet. Sounds like everything's going okay. You make sure you're saving every once in a while. We've had some definite quirks. Thomas Calderon, what do you got? Yeah, you just do this one right here. Yeah, it's a lot. There's some complications on some of these. If you do this, you won't see this. Hit OK. It'll work. And hit OK. So the floor is still there, as you can see, but it's not visible. Yeah, but do the floor patterns instead of you hiding the floors, because sometimes we have floor outlets that go in, things that attach to the floor, and if you VH it, the floor's not there, it creates problems. You don't have anything to attach to. Yeah. Dean. No, well, what's going to happen is you're going to have a truss up here, on the high part in theory. But what we did on ours is, yeah, you probably, some of these walls would go up to the roof, huh? If this is your, Dean, you made yours really big. You made a lot of your building in the big space. So you didn't do exactly what I wanted you to do that way. I just wanted the living room. So I just wanted the great room, the kitchen, and the informal dining space in that big space. But you did something different. So what's going to happen with yours is you have to make a decision of whether these walls are going to go all the way up to that monster ceiling, or whether you're going to put ceilings in the 2x6 ceiling joists there and cut them off. Does that make sense? I think you put the ceilings in and cut them off. I don't think in a bedroom you need to see, 18 feet in the air. Does that make sense? So I think you need to put a ceiling in those, and then what that would just be a truss up in here, it'd be an empty space. It'd be 2x6. You've already made that 2x6 before. Yep. All right. Look out. This garage, we haven't really talked about the garage so much. Let's go back into the, I don't know, floor plan or whatever. We haven't talked about the garage, but we kind of need to now, because there's some things we're going to do with the garage ceiling that maybe makes us want to have a garage ceiling. Okay. Like, for example, are we going to put any lights in the garage? Are we going to put in, I don't know, a garage door opener, stuff like that? That makes sense? Something to attach it to. So here's what I think we need to do. Kind of like we did in the house, kind of like we did back here. We're going to put in a ceiling. We're going to use that 5.5, right? I think on this one, we could probably use this one. I'm just going to plunk it in. And let's go ahead and take a look at it here. Again, the garage should be pretty straightforward. Nice little sliver here. I'm going to turn off the line weight. So here's what's going to happen. Let me turn this to medium. Can you see the gypboard on the bottom and then the 2x6? So here's the tricky part. This right here needs to be this right here, not this. This, kind of like we had in the rooms. So here's what I want you to do. I'd like you to align this and that. That makes sense. Oh, you know what? That's not going to work. I take that back. No, I got to do it the way we did the rooms. I'm sorry. That's a lie. Because you can't do that, right? Because it's got to be sitting on top there, huh? So let's go back to there. Let's align that like that. And then this is wrong. This has got to be here. So we got to fix that. Edit the boundary. Level 1. So that is going to go to here, just like we did in the bedrooms. No different here. So you may have to kind of do a little bit of creativity there. Get it to the correct spot. Kind of like that. Let's find out why that's happening there. Okay, that's really weird. I'm just going to delete. Oh, I see what's happening. I see it's a 2-line thing. See that? That right there. Okay. Let's try that again. So I'm just going to take that and bring it down. And let's try that again. There. Oh, stop it. That's right. There. Okay. Does that make sense, everybody? And then green check it. Now, if I go to this view, the ceiling sits right on top. That's what it's supposed to do. And then we'll put the regular 5/8 gyp ceiling on the bottom of that. Now you can do it the way I showed you. You can just drop that 5/8 inch ceiling. That 5/8 gyp ceiling in your garage. It's not going to be at the right height because it's a 7'6" now. But it will be in a second. So we're going to take that ceiling there and align it. It's pretty much like we did in the bedrooms, right? Like that. Does that kind of make sense? So there's the ceiling joist, and then there's the gypboard inside. We need that in the garage because we're going to put some stuff in there. Okay. So if I go to the ceiling plan, once you've done that, we have some lights, create similar, and we can start, deciding what we want to do with lights in the garage, whatever you guys want to do. I'm not sure if those are going the right direction or not, but whatever you want to do with the garage, we can, kind of make it happen. And then we're also going to have an outlet for a garage door opener in there somewhere. Let's see. This is the last piece, and I'll turn you loose. Component, place, load family. Let's see. I'm looking for a garage door opener. It's basically like a outlet ceiling. Oh gosh. If you see it, yell. I'm looking for I think it's that one right there. That's it. And somewhere in the ceiling, I'm saying, say right around here somewhere, right? Got it. And we'll have to figure out where that thing is. I think what happens on this one, it might go into a weird spot. Let's see. I may have to come back to you on that one. You guys see where it went? I'll come back to you on that one. Get the ceiling in, and let me play with that family. That family was funky for me before too. And you can drop in some ceiling lights in that garage. That's all I got. Populate it, give you a window of time. Want to see, don't you guys have a deadline today on revisions as well? So you can also use the time for that if you need. I'll take those all the way through midnight. So if you're working at home on your device, you can do it that way too. It's in both of our interests to make that thing right. That's weird about that garage door thing. On the ceiling plan. And I have a ceiling. There it is. Oh, maybe, huh? Yep. Yeah, where are you there? Oh yeah, your roof is wrong for sure. Okay. So yeah, there is something to worry about for sure. Go ahead and minimize that. Or yeah, get that out of the way. And let's go into your site view. Yeah, you brought this out, so this roof has to change. See what happened there? So this isn't correct. So let's see. What's your overhang? Do you know? Okay. So let's see. Pick wall, 1 foot. Go here and here. Take that. Like that. Go like that. That and not slope that. And take that and not slope that. So the slope is being determined by this. So this is going to overhang it, if that makes sense. So that should work. I don't think the roof will change positions. It's just going to cantilever over a little bit here. See what's going on there? Now, if you go back to your picture. Yeah, go back to the rendering. Does that make sense, Dean? Now you'll still have to project that wall up to the roof, but that should be easy. That's same problem. So you can fix that exactly the way I just showed you. The exact same situation. That roof needs to come out more because you made a little cha-chink later on after you made your roof. You probably needed a little more space, and so you just kind of made a wall and just kind of made it come out a little bit. So now that roof has to, do just what I did. It has to just come out, 1 foot, 1 foot, 1 foot, right? And then no slope on any of them, right? And that roof will pop out over it. It'll work. Just do it. You'll see. That roof, that wall doesn't know where to go because there's nothing above it. But once you put the roof above it, it'll attach to it. You'll see. Just fix the roof the way I showed you. It'll work. Yep. Yes, sir. So go to setup, zoom to the left, and then above that center, and then above that where it says letter, you need to change that to arc D. Yep, 24 by 36, and then raster processing to the right, down. So take a look at that menu because you're going to see that over again. That's zoom, center, arc D, landscape raster. Hit OK. Now we're going to go to the selected views and sheets. You're going to print 2, right? So hit select and then uncheck views. Okay, floor plan rendering. So that's good. That's exactly what it should be. Hit OK. And hit OK. Oh, wait. Combine. Yeah, combine multiple. Yep. And now hit OK. That thing moves. I hate that. And then it's going to hug and chug. And it'll ask you where you want to save it. Save it to your My Documents first, and then paste it to my thing. Yeah, that's a crappy name. Do it like, call it floor plan rendering or something like that. Yeah. And Tuscan is Tuscan, FYI. And then your last name is not T, unless you're some kind of Brazilian soccer player or something. Yeah, give me your full name. And then spell Tuscan right, and then you can save, and then you can copy that and put it in the submit folder, revisions. Damer. Yeah, just uncheck visible. Yeah. Yep. There you go. Okay, why is that dang family not working? Electrical outlet ceiling. 9'9". Okay. I'm gonna show you something really fast here, folks. Super really fast. I found out my problem with my family. Watch out. Okay, so that outlet I showed you, the one that goes on the ceiling, right? That thing right there. It's not a face-based outlet. It's just a throw it in their outlet and it goes wherever it wants to go. You'll notice that the height is at 0, right? So you have to give it a height, tell it where it's going to go. Does that make sense? So here's what I would do if I were you. I would find out. I'd go to the section view and I would find out how high that ceiling is. And it is 9 feet, 11 3/8, Control C. And then I would go back into the ceiling plan and I would bring in that component and I would paste Control V, that number in, and I would plunk that sucker in and it goes right there. I would say somewhere right around there somewhere, so it's a spot where you can plug in the garage door opener, and it opens the garage doors. That makes sense? All right. So I'll be looking for lights in there. Don't go crazy in the garage, but it's nice to have some lights in there, and then we'll just switch to it and stuff. Hook them up. How the what? Oh, got it. Okay.